Devil and see all.
The world was once covered in stars, not just in the sky, but etched across the earth, vast as cities, precise as a heart's rhythm. These were star forts, they told us. But what they didn't say, they weren't forts. They were keys, each one a note in a global symphonic grid, placed by the builders, those whose names were frequencies and whose bones were light. You could sing from one star fort and be heard in another, across oceans, not by voice, by harmonic field. A ripple of pure math and heart, pulsing through the crystal veins of the earth. They came before language was linear, when dreams were taught in schools and trees gave reports of the weather. The builders weren't a race, they were a frequency class. Tall, short, dark, light, what mattered was their tuning. They called themselves Tethari, which roughly means we who place memory into matter. Each builder trained with an element. Earth builders could shape stone like song. Air builders spoke languages that rode winged currents. Fire builders encoded information in color and heat. Water builders whispered into tides, storing records in mist and snow. And then there were the fifth builders, rare, strange, laughing types. They bent coincidence like iron. Their monuments weren't made of stone, but story, ritual, and rhythm. You've met them. The ones who walk into a room and suddenly everything feels different. Yes, those are their descendants. You might be one. But all harmonies can be hijacked. One of the original builder castes grew greedy. The tone mutilators, sometimes remembered in fractured myths as the archons or false choir. They learned how to bend the resonance map for power. They created echo loops in the song grid, places where energy would spiral in confusion instead of flow. People inside these loops would lose memory, connection, and joy. Over time, the builders realized what had happened. They couldn't remove the loops without harming the Earth grid, so they decided to lock the grid. Each star fort was reconfigured as a lock. The builders sang themselves into sleep, embedding their blueprints into the geometry, and scattered clues across myth, maps, and megaliths. When enough returners gather, and the laughter is true, the grid will bloom again, and the builders will rise through you. When the tone mutilators took over the empires, they created a replacement system, cartography. But their maps had no depth, no harmonics, flat, cold, deadened. They named places after conquerors instead of the elements. They redrew lines across singing stones. They covered star forts with prisons, landfills, and government buildings. Even more clever, some were turned into military bases. But sometimes the geometry still leaked through. Have you ever stood near one of these old forts and felt your spine buzz? That's not nostalgia. That's memory. And now, the grids are humming again. Children are drawing impossible shapes, decagrams, nested spirals, sacred triangles, before they learn multiplication. A boy in the Philippines built a star map from seashells. A girl in Ghana sings in a pitch that makes tree bark soften. Elderly people are dreaming in ancient geometric alphabets, waking up with drawings on their walls they can't explain. A man in Brazil entered a historical ruin and came out speaking a language no one taught him, except one grandmother from Mongolia who whispered, "Ah, you've reactivated." There's a low hum now, beneath cities, beneath schools, beneath cathedrals and highways. Some call it tinnitus, others madness. The builders would call it the unlocking. And when the last builder's tone is sung, possibly in laughter, possibly in grief, the grid will rise again, not to control, but to conduct. A world where the song sings with you, where healing is vibratory, where homes glow when you're joyful, where truth resounds as light. We are on the edge. The scrolls are unrolling, and the final song hasn't even been heard yet.
Until next time, your Sea Star Heresy, channeled by 3611027, the Beautiful Whisperer. Our Sea Star Devil and Seal. Apply the news you can use.
Get dangerous. Have I given you a clue?
Devil and See All.